Hi guys, welcome to my channel where we talk about everything from tech to films and all the fun stuff in between. Today let's look at the iPhone X, the 2-year-old iPhone, and how it holds up in 2019. We've come a long way in the evolution of phones. They started being like this and then they became like that, and finally they've reached to a point which makes them so good and super expensive that is there any point of even upgrading a phone every year? This is a huge downside to the manufacturers, but for us end users, I think we're really in the golden age of mobile phone evolution. And this brings me to the main point of making this video. How does a 2-year-old phone from Apple still hold up in day-to-day usage? If you see, this is my iPhone X, which I purchased upon launch in November 2017. It was a very special year for the iPhone as it was its 10th-year anniversary and everyone were eagerly anticipating on what Apple would bring to the table that year. And Apple really did not disappoint. The iPhone X brought that nearly all-screen design when all other phones were still stuck with huge bezels on the top and bottom, making it look like something from a sci-fi film. I remember watching this Amazon Prime original show called Extant, starring Halle Berry, which was set in the future and all characters used phones which were just these pieces of glass, and iPhone X nearly looked like that. So here I still have the box intact. I've opted for the silver color. Not that it matters on the iPhone X, as when you put a case onto it, the only way of telling the color would be to check at the bottom bit which shows the band. It came with the charger, lightning headphones, and the USB to lightning adapter. This was one of the first generation phones to get rid of that 3.5mm headphone jack. I still find this slightly annoying even today as I've got so many accessories that uses that 3.5mm connector, and now I have to carry this adapter with me wherever I go. I also like cases made by Apple directly. If you see, I've got two of them, one in blue and the other one in product red color. I never use my iPhones without a case, so really the color of my iPhone is always defined by the cases which I buy and not by the color of the phone itself. It's a shame that these silicone cases are priced at over £45 and the leather at £55. The leather ones really look good out of the box, but in a few months they turn like this. This is the leather case which I bought for my iPhone 5s. Also, my cases are nearly 2 years old and the top coating of that silicone is starting to peel off. So this is what you get for your money, a case which would roughly work for 2 years. Now that £45 is really high price for just a case, even though Apple uses finest materials. But if this was priced somewhere at say £25 or £30, not just myself but everyone would have bought a few instead of just rich YouTubers. Same goes with the Apple bands. They start at £49 minimum even for that sports loop. If they were priced at £30 or closer, I would have bought a few straight away. But alas, Apple wants to charge premium for every small little thing that comes out of their factories. Getting back to the iPhone X, it packs this amazing technology on the front called Face ID. It's been 2 years and still I don't think any manufacturer has come close to this. Hidden in this notch of the phone is true depth sensing tech, which securely takes and stores a 3D map of your face and uses it to unlock the phone. This tech is on the similar lines of what Xbox Kinect used to use. You know, this bar which was sold as an add-on to the Xbox? But Apple managed to conceal this in a relatively small notch and use way advanced algorithms to make it more secure and efficient. For me, the Face ID worked almost in all situations. I especially like it when it uses this and auto-authenticates passwords on websites and apps which I regularly use. This is so convenient instead of having to type in a passcode or enter your username and log in over and over again. It also allows you to store an alternate face map. This really helps if you wear glasses and want to unlock your phone on those droopy-eyed non-glasses early mornings. Let's quickly look at the specs of the iPhone X. Only the main ones which matter in a day-to-day usage. First up is that screen at 5.8 inches, which is nearly 98% screen to body ratio, and this makes the phone very manageable for one-handed use. The resolution is at 458 ppi with an OLED screen, and as many have said it before, Apple really makes one of the best screens in the industry. The OLED display is brilliant and the darks and whites are excellently balanced. And the resolution at 2436 by 1125 pixels puts this phone somewhere in the region of 2K, so you can watch all the HD content without any issues on this device. Next up is speed. The iPhone X packs the now 2-year-old Apple's A11 6-core Bionic chip with Neural Engine, and it also comes with the M11 Motion processor. 2 years down the lane and you can see how fast this phone still is. I'll try to load some graphic intensive games and you can see it for yourself. Day-to-day apps like mail, messages, YouTube, Instagram, cameras, you can just whiz through them. In conclusion, the A11 chip holds perfectly fine after 2 years, and I haven't noticed even the slightest speed drop. The 3GB RAM, which Apple usually doesn't mention this anywhere, really helps with all of this. In comparison, you can check my Apple iPad Air Generation 0, which has only 1GB of RAM, and you can see how it struggles. Next up is battery life. The phone still shows battery performing at 94%, and this is after 2 years. For me, I get a full day's usage if I use it intensively. Making calls, watching a movie, watch YouTube for an hour, do a few video calls and then iMovie. It perfectly handles that, and I get through the whole day without having to recharge. And for moderate to light usage, you can get a day and a half before needing to recharge. Next up is the cameras, probably one of the most important things on today's phones. The iPhone X packs a dual 12-megapixel wide-angle and telephoto lens at the back, capable of shooting videos at 4K up to 60 frames per second. Both the lenses have got optical image stabilization and take slow-mos up to 240 frames per second. The front is that amazing 7-megapixel true-depth camera with Face ID and gesture capture. General verdict: the phone takes brilliant pictures and would suffice for most of us who need pictures, videos for personal or social media use. As you can see, here is a sample of pictures which I shot on the iPhone X without any filters or retouching applied. Here are the few other things which I love about this phone. The build quality. It is really amazing. When you hold it, it feels like it's an expensive piece of jewelry, and it's got a nice heft to it. Next up is that recent iOS 13 update which it received. It's got all the features which the update includes, maybe just missing ones that relate to the new camera system which the latest iPhone 11s have got. And even with the latest update, I haven't noticed a drop in the speed. Actually, the iOS 13 update made it a bit better in my opinion. Next is the speakers. The iPhone gets dual speakers set up, one at the top and one at the bottom, and this makes the phone really loud and clear. It helps when you're watching YouTube videos and the audio is not distorted and it's loud enough. Then it's the inclusion of wireless charging. The iPhone 8 and the 10 were the first ones to get wireless charging as standard. It's really very convenient and uses the standard Qi wireless charging technology, unlike Apple's proprietary induction charging like the Apple Watch does, which means it is compatible with any wireless charger available in the market. Finally, annoyances and complaints. Apart from the removal of headphone jack, which in all fairness most of the other manufacturers have started doing it, I do not have any other issues with this phone. 2 years down the line and the phone doesn't feel outdated or slow, and it still performs brilliantly. I'm not sure if you can say the same with other devices out there, but the iPhone 10 really holds its own. So in conclusion, the iPhone 10 is a brilliant piece of hardware and software, and it still holds like a champ after 2 years. If you're lucky, you can still find a few brand new ones for about £600 or decent refurbished ones at £500. And for those who are looking to upgrade this year from the iPhone 10, unless money is not a huge concern, I would suggest it's better to wait until next year for that iPhone 12, as it'll feature a newer design compared to the current iPhone's iteration, which started with the 10. So those are my thoughts about the iPhone 10 2 years later. Please leave your comments below and let me know your views on this. And please do subscribe so you can keep up to date with my videos. And turn on that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And as always, thanks a lot for staying until the end. See you in the next video. Bye for now.